Hey, welcome back to Don't Run with Sisters. I'm Kelly, your favorite Jeep driving lawyer, mom of twins, three crazy rescue dogs, a rescue cat, and rescue guinea pigs who likes to craft in her spare time. Has gone back to school to learn ASL and is trying to train for Ironman. Well, my son just spoiled the secret. So this last so this last week after filming Flosstubbe, we actually lost our little guinea pig Rennie. So we're down to three. We have two girls and a boy. They are separated because guinea pigs are prolific breeders. Um, and we don't want that. So we're down to three, which is very sad. We had Renee since she was a baby, so it was kind of shocking. Um, all of our PDs are considered seniors by now. Um, so yeah. Um, and then yesterday, Bean and I went to rescue a dog. Um, he doesn't really have a name. They had named him Jasper. Let me explain this. Okay, so was I in the market for another dog? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I have three. Like really and truly, I do not need another dog. Um, I was in a group for rehoming animals here in Michigan because my friend is looking for a dog, and I thought, okay, I'll join and I'll try and help him find a dog for his family. So, lady posted she has a deaf dog. They didn't know when they adopted her or him that he was deaf. Otherwise, she said, I absolutely would not have taken on a deaf dog. There's no way. Um, she was to the point where somebody either needed to take him by the end of the weekend or she was going to potentially put him down because she just couldn't deal with it. Is he a good dog? Absolutely. Like he's even when we went to meet him, he's like very relaxed, I mean, was a good dog. Is a good dog. He is part Australian healer. I don't know. And so we have taken on. So he does not know his name. They did not teach him any sign commands or anything. So we will be working on that. He's so relaxed that I actually think he'd make a really good therapy dog. So we are going to look into that. Has it thrown my household into a tizzy? Yes. My big girl is. This is the first time she hasn't gone absolutely berserk seeing him in her house. Was this morning. Now that's 24 hours, so that's actually pretty fast to start adjusting. But it's an adjustment, and I am a little second guessing what I did. Do I feel bad about rescuing him to save him from potentially dying? Because for the only reason of being deaf and somebody being too selfish and lazy to even Google how to work with him? No, I don't regret that at all. And I will never regret that. I will say, though, that if things don't kind of calm down and we start adjusting so that all dogs can be sort of in the same space and flowing um, soon, it may be something where we foster him until we find him a better home. And that sucks. I'm sure, though, that it will work out. I have to believe it will. Um, so, yeah. But it has caused an upheaval. Some people are taking it really pissy. And, yeah. Um, I will say also, we started back to classes. Um, and the burnout is real. We only got a couple days, like we literally have 5 days off. Um, to which point, I worked more than 40 hours to try and catch some things up and whatnot and deal with some things. And my motivation right now is just still at an all-time low for me. Um, and I don't like, yeah. I am sticking to my guns with the boy child. He has been been working. He's been mowing lawns. He's been helping my mom. So he is working on paying his rent and having it ready for the first of the month. So mad props. He does understand what he's messed up. He's hopefully learning his lesson. Um, so yeah, I have court a couple days this week. Um, and some doctor's appointments. We finally see the lung specialist this week. Although, like, we're doing good, like health wise. I'm down several more pounds. I did decide to go ahead and stick with Noom. It's working. My Fitness Pal wasn't working for me, um, and I think overall, can I explain why? Because they're virtually very similar programs, with the exception of the little learning lessons on Noom. They're virtually the same now. At the same time, and I've gone back to checking my blood sugar in the morning, which I hadn't been doing. Um, and I can log that into Noom as well and track it. Is it? Yeah, I can't explain, like, really and truly, I can't explain why Noom works over my Fitness Pal. My Fitness Pal sends me into a mental health spiral of being obsessive about calories, of um it's just really bad. And when I did the calculation too on my Fitness Pal, like, it was like, oh yeah, you should only be eating like 12 to 1300 calories and for a weight loss. And I'm like, that's not enough. Like, and when I did the calculation on Noom, it puts me in a much high, like at a higher calorie range, but it gives me a range to hit. Um, so I don't know. It works for me. And all I'm saying is, it may be trial and error. If you're out there trying to find something to work, it may be a trial and error thing. Like, what works for one person may not work for the next person. Um, it's weight loss. Health in general is very individualized. There's no cookie cutter. There's no, like, the doctors may want to say there's a textbook, but really and truly, none of us totally fit a textbook when it comes to our health. You've got to find what works for you individually. So for now, it's working. I've gone ahead and paid for the year. Um, we'll see how it goes. Um, let's see, this week I've got assignments due tomorrow. Haven't started them, just had no desire. So that's on my agenda. The kids have band practice tonight because they're playing in the convocation for the school on Sunday. So I was going to do homework tonight, but that's going to be a little tricky. But we'll get it done. We'll get it done. Um, I'll always get it done. You know how I am. So with that said, I did do some stitching. I was actually pretty monogamous this last week, and you'll see why. Well, if you follow me on Instagram, you already know why. So, do I have any haul? No. I have been kicking around doing the frosted pumpkin new style with the dry, like the, what is it, Castle Homecoming. It's super cute, but then I'm like, what am I gonna do with this? And then I was like, I already have so much to do that I'm doing that it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense right now for me to take it out. It may come out and maybe I'll buy the pattern when it's totally out. I don't know. But for now, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to admire Janet working on hers and whoever else is doing it. I'm just going to do that. So, um I told you also I'm not planning at this point to participate in the smalls exchange at StitchCon. Um, I need to take stuff off of my plate and off of my shoulders and not. And my goal is to get rid of stuff, not bring in more stuff. So yeah. Because somebody made a comment to me last night, and it was very hurtful, but in some ways it was true. And I need to really focus on finishing the projects in my house, because even if I move, this is still my home now. And so yeah, so we're going back to expect to see home projects or hear about home projects and getting finished. And if anybody has any ideas for cheap waterproof flooring, let me know. So, okay. So that said, should we start on whips or finishes? Let's start with finishes because they're right in front of me because I just moved them here because you. Okay. So I got all the ends tucked in and I got the buttons on Bruno's sweater. How cute is it? I'm not going to worry about blocking it. It's super little. I'm not even, so I'm going to add that to Bruno's box that's over there. And yeah, and then we'll start the next project for Bruno. It's super cute though. It's super soft. The other thing that I finally finished is from, I started this in 2001. What the heck is wrong with me? 2021, I believe, is when Patty from Four Boys and an NL Girl put out the By the Seaside sale. And it's glorious. You know what I realized? Y'all, I can't count. I clearly can't count based on what I did in this sale. I did the frame first. I was all excited. Actually, I started the frame. That was because the frame came out first. Then I started the lobster. My lobster's not centered. I did not rip him out and fix him. I don't care. Then I started working and I'm like, okay, why is my anchor off? Because I counted and built my anchor the way it should be. And I double checked and yes, my counting's off. Correct. Then I did the buoy and I'm like, it's not as tall as it should be. What the heck is wrong? And then I started on the last square. And my lighthouse is so fat because I added like 25 extra stitches across to my frame. And apparently I added too many tall as well, which is where the problem came in. So I can't count. So we had to adjust. The other thing is I had stitched it just on white Ada, not knowing. And a lot of the colors, the creams in that, blend right in. So I did do some back stitching, which the pattern does not really call for, other than around the anchor and across the bunting section. It doesn't call for, and the flagpole. There's no other back stitching, but I had to add some because otherwise you would like you can't tell what the heck. So, but it's finished. It's finished. And now that I'm looking at it, I may have to go in and add a little bit of back stitching here. But then do I have to back stitch all three houses? Because I don't really want to do that. But it's done. That also for Michelle Bendy Stitchy, she's doing she's doing the 12 finishes this year to push for them out of whips. That puts me at 4 done now. I only have 8 more to go. I don't know. So, okay. So I worked on my Whip Go squares. That was my other one. I did not work on my sing-a-song sampler yesterday, so I owe it a day this week. If I'm going to make it up, I don't know. I'm still debating on that. Usually that's my Sunday stitch with Tina. This is the first Sunday I've missed where I didn't work on it, but it was a 3-hour drive back and forth just to get the dog. And then I had to go to the grocery store, and then I had to make dinner, and then I didn't. Oh, the other thing that I made was a bunch of flip-flop tags for my friend's candle company. So I got to get those in the mail today. So my Whip Go squares this month are the Modern Folk Embroidery Fruits of Plenty sale, again from 2021, because I joined all the sales and finished none in 2021. So we're trying to finish them. So I worked on this. My goal this month is 10 days on. I think I'm on day 4, 3 or 4. I worked still in here and a little bit more down here. So I'm super excited. I do love this piece. It is one that you've got to really concentrate on your, like, this is easy to follow the pattern, but like in here, you've really got to be paying attention. It is not one to do when you're tired. So, I love Jacob's patterns. Don't get me wrong, I do, but they are intense. Like they're intense. There are a lot of stitching per block, and that's okay. So, the other thing that I worked on was Rosie. That is my other Whipco call this month. Um, this is a gift. Again, it is full coverage. He is all filled in. She is from here down, right? No, I've got three or four stitches right in here to do, but from here. So that grill is all fixed and filled in. If I had to do it over, I would either do 10 stitches or I would do one strand of floss, because I think I'm doing it on 22 count, Ada. Does that make sense? Um, and so with 2 threads, it's really tight, and you can, I don't know how to show this to you, but it's actually kind of ripply because it's so tight with cramming those stitches in. It does feel good to know that I'm almost to the point where I've got it squared up again, and I'll be able to readjust to make sure that everything is now back in line. So my goal this week is to finish the few stitches that are left, like up in here and here. Potentially to get this tire done. I don't know, and we'll see. I mean, it's technically not that many stitches to get the tire filled in and the headlights, like around the headlights, done. So we'll see. We'll see where we go. And that is really and truly, I'm looking at my pile. Yeah, because I had already showed you, I didn't work on that, so you've already seen the Sing a Song sampler. That's it. I couldn't log in on Thursday until I got home from dropping off Bean's class, because they've changed the way we can log in at school, and I can't seem to get onto the school system. Just really, unless I hotspot it off my phone, which then uses up my data, and it just creates a whole nightmare. So, yeah. So, I didn't drag out my sewing machine. I just didn't have it in me. So now I still owe my beach quilt top and my Sylvia's bridal quilt some stitching time. I will catch them up. Maybe I'll take the beach quilt tonight, because a lot of it is hand stitching. So maybe I can take that tonight with the dog, and while the kids are in band, I can work on that. Maybe. Okay. So next up is the Ace of Spades. This is one we have not seen in a while. This is another one. Kelly joined them in 2021 and didn't finish it. And that would be the Stitchy Book Club. For me, I think I'm working on It's Not Little Women, Sense and Sensibility. It's the one with the flower in the middle. And I have like hardly any stitches. I think I have maybe 100 stitches into it. So I will pull that one out, and that will be my other piece that I work on this week. And who knows, maybe I'll stitch that to a finish too. I don't think once I get going on it, depending, because I don't know that I'm not putting the title on it. So I don't know how long that flower motif is going to take to stitch, because I think that's all I'm going to stitch on it. I have to look at it again. It's been a while since I've looked at it. So we'll go from there. So maybe that will be my next big push to monogamous stitch. So we'll see. Again, I have no haul. I bought a skein of DMC that I was missing, that I'd unbought. But yeah, I really don't have any haul. So that's kind of where we're at. So with that said, I'm going to let you guys go. I've got a bunch of office work to get done today. I've got a bunch of schoolwork to get done in the next 24 hours. And yeah. Oh, and I'm meeting with the academic advisor to make sure that I have everything in check for graduation. So very exciting. So with that, if there's anything you need, please reach out to me. I'm His Princess Kelly on Instagram. And yeah, otherwise, we'll see you guys next week. Bye, y'all.